not here today.
Come on, Gabby! Come on!
So I have learned a lot throughout my 18 years of life, mostly through school, like my ABCs, how to read, how to write, most importantly, not to trust people. I was in the 8th grade, about 14 years old at this time, and I learned that in athletics, a lot of people would get their stuff stolen, like purses, phones, clothes. Why would you steal someone's clothes? That's nasty. I wouldn't want to wear someone's clothes from someone I don't know. Well, I never thought that was going to happen to me. I thought that I could trust everyone. Well, I was wrong. My friends, they pulled a prank that went wrong. So I had let my friend, Jim, I let him borrow my little iPod. It was just a small little square, little silver, only 2 gigabytes. And this was a time when iPod touches were like the coolest thing. Everyone had one. But not me. Mine wasn't all that fancy. And so the next day, I told my friend if he had my iPod. So I went up to him after I had breakfast. And I walked to the little gym. This is where everyone would meet after breakfast. And I saw him sitting there with 2 of my other friends, Marcus and Tony. And so I had asked him if I could have my iPod back, and he pulled it out of his backpack, and he was holding it. Before I could grab it, Marcus pulled it out of his hand, snatched it real fast. I was like, oh, okay, well, he's not going to take it from me. I trust him. And then before I could ask for it, he gave it to my other friend, Tony. By this time, it was time for everybody to go to class. Everyone was walking out the gym, and I was like, okay, I'll just get it back later. So 4th period came around. I talked to my friend Jim, the one I let borrow my iPod. And I was like, hey, who has my iPod? And he said that he didn't know that I would get it back. I was like, okay. So during lunch, I talked to those little group of friends, and I asked Marcus where my iPod was. And he said that he gave it to Tony, and that Tony gave it to another boy named Eddie. Okay, that's 3 other people that had my iPod that I did not let borrow it. And so Marcus, I was mad, and Marcus gave me his iPod as collateral, and I was like, why do I want yours? This has your music. We don't have the same taste. It's just, but I understood, because he would not just give his iPod away just for nothing. And so after school was over, I came up to Eddie, which was the last boy who supposedly had it, and he told me that he never got it. And he lied to my face. I knew he had it, but I was just like, okay. I started crying because I was thinking about what was going to happen to me when I was going to get home. My parents were going to kill me. I was like, I don't want to die. I need my iPod. And so Jim, he was walking by, and he started yelling at Eddie. And they were just yelling back and forth. And here comes the teacher walking by. And I'm like, oh, great. Something's going to happen tomorrow. And the next day, it was during breakfast, Tony came up to me, and he told me that he did give it to Eddie, that Eddie supposedly left it in the restroom. And I'm thinking, why would you just leave someone's property in the restroom, especially if you stole it? You stole it for a reason. You're not going to just leave it there. I was like, okay, well, I was just happy he told me the truth. Later on during that day, everyone got called to the office. I don't know what happened during that time, but all I know is I got my iPod back the next day. I was so happy. And I was just like, well, I learned something new from this experience. I learned not to trust people who are supposedly your friend. And it just, if I were to do this again, I wouldn't. Or I would, because I learned who I could trust and who I couldn't.